The morning sun broke through the trees, casting dappled light onto the forest floor as Finn, Aric, Tilly, and Rusty continued their journey toward Aeryndor. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the sounds of nature waking up. Birds chirped cheerily above, and a soft breeze rustled the leaves, but the events of the previous night loomed over them like a storm cloud, casting a shadow over their adventure. Finn couldn't shake the feeling of foreboding. The figure in the canyon had felt too powerful, too connected to whatever was happening in Aeryndor. "We need to be more vigilant," he said, glancing at his friends as they walked. "If the darkness can find us here, it could be waiting for us anywhere." Aric nodded, his expression serious. "The shadow mentioned something about a greater darkness. We should be prepared for anything." Tilly flew ahead, her wings shimmering in the sunlight. "I can sense magic in the air," she called back to them. "It feels strange, different from the magic of the stones." As they walked deeper into the whispering woods, the trees began to close in around them, their trunks gnarled and twisted as if they were reaching out with dark, knotted fingers. The underbrush was thick, making their path difficult to navigate. Finn led the way, Rusty at his heels, ever watchful. Suddenly, they came across a clearing bathed in golden light. In the center stood a massive tree with a thick trunk and branches that stretched high into the sky, its leaves shimmering as if touched by magic. "Look at that tree," Finn exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's beautiful." Tilly fluttered up to the branches, her wings sparkling. "It feels alive. I've never sensed such powerful magic before." Aric stepped forward cautiously. "It could be a trap. We should be careful." As they approached the tree, they noticed symbols carved into its bark, ancient runes that pulsed with a soft, green light. Finn reached out, placing his hand on the trunk. The moment he made contact, a wave of warmth surged through him, and he felt a connection to the tree, as if it was alive and aware of his presence. "Hello, young one," a voice echoed through the clearing, soft and melodic, yet tinged with sadness. "I am the guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have ventured far, but the path ahead is fraught with danger." Finn looked around, startled. "Where are you?" he asked, feeling a mixture of awe and apprehension. "I am here," the voice said, reverberating from the tree itself. "I watch over these woods and protect them from the darkness that seeks to consume them. You carry the stones, do you not?" Finn nodded, glancing at Aric and Tilly, who looked equally mesmerized. "Yes, we found them to restore balance. But we don't know how to defeat the shadow we encountered." "The shadow you faced is but a manifestation of a greater evil that threatens Aeryndor," the Guardian continued, its voice like the rustling leaves. "It seeks to absorb the magic of the stones, to unleash chaos and despair upon this land. You must be prepared to face it, but to do so, you need more than just courage." "What do we need?" Aric asked, stepping forward. "Tell us, Guardian." "You must seek the Crystal of Harmony," the Guardian replied. "It is hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, guarded by the spirits of the forest. Only those pure of heart can approach it. With its power, you can amplify the strength of the stones and confront the shadow that haunts you." Finn's heart raced. "Where can we find this crystal?" "Follow the whispers of the woods," the Guardian advised. "They will guide you. But beware, for the darkness is ever present, and it will try to lead you astray." As the Guardian finished speaking, a sudden gust of wind swept through the clearing, swirling leaves and debris into the air. Finn felt a pull within him, a longing to follow the whispers he could now hear faintly in the rustling foliage. "We'll find the crystal," Finn declared, determination lighting his eyes. "Thank you, Guardian." "Be safe, young ones," the Guardian's voice faded, blending with the sounds of the forest. With renewed purpose, Finn, Aric, Tilly, and Rusty began to follow the whispers. The forest around them seemed to come alive, guiding their steps deeper into its heart. The trees loomed high, their branches swaying rhythmically, as if beckoning them onward. After walking for some time, they reached a fork in the path. The whispers grew louder, but they came from two different directions, one to the left, where the path was overgrown and dark, and one to the right, where the trees seemed to shimmer with light. "Which way do we go?" Tilly asked, looking back and forth between the two paths. Finn closed his eyes, focusing on the whispers. The voice seemed to pull him toward the right, where the light shone brighter. This way, he said confidently, pointing down the right path. I can feel it. They moved forward cautiously, and as they did, the atmosphere shifted. The air became thicker, tinged with magic. They could hear laughter and soft singing spirits of the forest celebrating their presence. Rusty wagged his tail, energized by the cheerful sounds. But as they ventured further, the atmosphere changed abruptly. The light dimmed, and the whispers turned to urgent cries. Hurry, before it's too late, echoed through the trees. Did you hear that? Aric said, his eyes widening. We need to move faster. Finn quickened his pace, Rusty at his side. They pressed on until they reached a clearing surrounded by towering trees, their trunks glistening with dew. In the center stood a pedestal made of entwined roots, and atop it rested a magnificent crystal that sparkled like 1,000 stars. The crystal of harmony, Tilly exclaimed, her wings shimmering with excitement. We found it. Finn stepped forward, but as he reached for the crystal, shadows began to emerge from the trees. Dark figures slithered out, their eyes glowing ominously. The shadows were here, drawn by the light of the crystal. Defended, Aric shouted, drawing his sword, standing protectively in front of Finn and Tilly. Rusty growled, baring his teeth, ready to defend his friends. The shadows lunged, their forms shifting and changing, trying to envelop them. Finn felt the surge of magic within him, the warmth of the stone in his pocket urging him on. We can't let them take it, he cried, summoning his courage. Tilly flew into the fray, her wings casting a radiant light that pushed back the shadows. Use the stone, she called out, guiding Finn and Aric. We can combine our magic. Finn and Aric nodded, standing back to back. Finn clutched the stone tightly, feeling its energy flow through him. Together, he shouted, channeling their strength. With a burst of magic, they unleashed a wave of light that enveloped the shadows, pushing them back. The dark figures shrieked in frustration, twisting away from the radiant energy. The light from the crystal of harmony pulsed in time with their magic, growing brighter and more powerful. Rusty darted between them, barking fiercely, driving the shadows away. The creatures recoiled, their forms dissipating like smoke in the wind. Keep going, Aric urged, the fire of determination blazing in his eyes. We can do this. With every ounce of strength, Finn, Aric, and Tilly combined their magic, creating a whirlwind of light that surged toward the shadows. The tendrils of darkness began to unravel, disappearing into the depths of the woods. With one final surge of energy, the shadows were driven away, scattering like leaves in the wind. The clearing was filled with light, and the crystal of harmony shone brilliantly, illuminating their faces. Finn gasped, realizing the danger had passed. They stood together, breathing heavily, their hearts racing with exhilaration and fear. We did it, Tilly cheered, her voice ringing with joy. Finn grinned, feeling the weight of the crystal in his hands. We have the crystal of harmony. Now we can amplify the stone's power and face the shadow head-on. As they gathered around the pedestal, a wave of peace washed over them. The forest whispered its gratitude, and the sunlight broke through the clouds, bathing the clearing in golden light. But even as they celebrated, Finn knew the journey was far from over. The shadows may have retreated, but the true battle awaited them in Aeryndor. They had to prepare for the darkness that loomed, threatening everything they held dear. With renewed resolve, Finn and his friends made their way back through the whispering woods, determined to confront the challenges ahead and restore balance to their world.